Just an update on this proposal to the release of genetically modified mosquitoes in northern Queensland. An interesting proposal before the Office of the Gene Regulator. Now, the entire argument that they are putting forward for the release of these genetically modified mosquitoes is to stop outbreaks of dengue fever. Now, that in itself seems fair enough. Dengue fever is a very serious disease carried by mosquitoes. However, now the reason given why there should be this release into the Queensland environment of genetically modified mosquitoes is put forward by the proponent, the idea that this will help stop dengue fever outbreaks. Now, that all sounds well and good. Dengue fever is a very serious mosquito-borne disease. However, when you look at the science, it doesn't appear that dengue fever is actually a major problem in Queensland. Now, this is a paper here, a peer-reviewed study published in the Journal of Travel Medicine. It was submitted in December 2023, and it was editorial decision to publish the 16th of January, so after the peer-reviewed period. So this is a fairly recent paper, only a year old. It's titled "The Epidemiology of Imported and Local Acquired Dengue in Australia Between 2012 and 2022." And it's done by some pretty serious researchers there at a Monash University and the Victorian Infectious Disease Service, the Infectious Disease Department from the Alfred Health in Melbourne. So pretty respectable people are putting this together. And what they note in their research paper, they say here, yes, between 2012 and 2022, there were over 13,000 dengue cases reported in Australia. But they note here that the locally acquired cases decreased from a peak of 236 cases to zero in 2021-2022. And their conclusion, our analysis highlights Australia's successful control of locally acquired dengue with Wolbachia. Now, Wolbachia is a bacteria treatment that doesn't involve genetically modifying the mosquitoes. Now, if that's working and that is working successfully, why is this other group funded by wanting to have this experiment in Queensland to release genetically modified mosquitoes to stop outbreaks of dengue fever when Queenslanders basically appears to have fixed and addressed the problem? Something just doesn't add up here. And this is the reason why, we just can't let these people come into the country, use Australia as their experimental base, to release genetically modified creatures into the environment, unless there's some real serious problem that needs to be addressed. Now, yet again, it is the Libertarians Party leading on this issue. Up in Queensland, you've got Jim Wilmot and Lockie Lade putting posts about this, discussing this on their social media.
G'day everyone. I just wanted to share my concerns about the proposal to release genetically modified mosquitoes into the Queensland environment. The regulator, which is called the Gene Technology Regulator in Australia, has received a proposal from a corporate called Oxitec to release genetically modified mosquitoes into our environment to help curb dengue fever. This plan should raise red flags for all Aussies.
Well, I'm back on the farm for a few days, putting things in order. Vet appointment for this guy together before I come down to Brisbane. But I got to bring something to your attention, okay? So, the Gene Technology Regulator in Australia, they've received a proposal from a corporation called Oxitec to release genetically modified mosquitoes in Queensland. The stated aim? To curb dengue fever.
It's also good to see Senator Gerard Rennick talking about this on his social media. But from the Labor Party, the Liberal Party, the Greens and the Teals, we're hearing nothing out of these people. Radio silence on what should be a very serious issue for all Australians, not just Queenslanders. We're hearing nothing at all from the major parties. Again, it's left up to the libertarians. Now, we can beat this. We can stop this. There is a period through the Office of the Gene Technology Regulator to people for make submissions starting in March. But March is conveniently likely to be when the middle of the election campaign is on and people will be focused elsewhere. So my suggestion, if you're concerned about this, we can win this exactly like we did with the mis and disinformation bill, with the Woolworths boycott, and several others that we've had through the year. That if enough people write to their members of parliament, post things on social media, if there's enough public awareness of the issue, it'll be fixed, it'll go away. So my suggestion is don't wait until March, until the middle of the election campaign. I'll put a list up on my other social media of all the Queensland members of parliament, and I'll have as many people in Queensland write to their local MP and tell them we do not want this. It appears to be a case of madness, pure madness, to undergo this experiment with these genetically modified mosquitoes in Queensland. And if enough Australians speak up about it, we can stop it, just like we have, as I said, with things like the mis and disinformation bill. We can beat this. We've just got to keep spreading the message and letting people know. And if enough people speak up about it, it will not go ahead.